Alright guys, so we're about to go for a ride in Gio's 1200 horsepower AIM-built Porsche. This thing has been a beast all day on the track, and I told him we had to go for a spin in this thing. I gotta feel it. Alright, so this is a special day for the OG TRC fam. When was the last time I've been in a street car of yours? 2013?
I'm pretty sure it was 2013. The same night that I met you, bro. The same night. 1, 2, 3.
TX2K, I walk up to some random dude with one of the most gorgeous Supras I have ever seen in my life, and it made like 1,300 or 1,100 at the time. 1,100 at the time. That was like one of the best racing nights of my life.
And I was like, I was literally like 130 pounds heavier. Sure that you were not expecting the shifter to be worked that way by a big dude.
That was like the best night of racing of my entire life. It's good to be back in the passenger seat, man.
People sometimes give me, crap because I drive a race car that has a TH400, but at the end of the day, I'm a true clutch fan. I mean, I probably could have had a 991 with the amount of money that was invested in this car, but I didn't want that. Yeah. I wanted a manual transmission car, and as far as I'm concerned, this is one of the best platforms. So, I mean, this is not a dog box. This is a bone stock 72,000 mile transmission.
That's wild. And you're like I don't know if it's gonna come off on video, but the loud like banging noise that like he's raping this drivetrain, and it's taking it. Like
it takes it.
Holy shit!
I was when I started, this car was has always been one of my dream cars. I absolutely love Supra. I'm a Supra fanatic. I'm always gonna have a Supra, but this was the car that I always wanted. So hopefully I'll be able to have another 6-speed Supra, but it's not going to be, I'm not replacing it with this car. It would be next to it because they both have their place, But yeah, when I started looking around and people are making, 15, 1600 horsepower through bone stock 997 transmissions, revving to 9,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, what?
That's what those AIM guys are doing. And I mean, I saw that. I'm like, I got to have it. I got to do that. I mean, thankfully, I had a relationship with those guys already, and it was just super easy. Like, we're, the Supra guys, if, we hope that if you have a Supra, we get to be a part of your build. When I saw what they were doing, it was a no-brainer. I wasn't going to try to do what they do and take years to perfect some platform. I was like, nope, I'm letting you guys handle it. I want that. Just give me exactly what you have. I didn't end up going too crazy because, these cars can get up there, and I didn't want to ruin the car, so I built, I had them build me something that I thought was going to be 100% reliable. It's going to come up to power. It's not going to be anything crazy. So I asked for 1,000. I ended up with 1,200 wheel. And it seems like at 1,200 wheels, 7,500 RPM is a very, very happy place for this car. Kind of like a Supra. It's like 1,000 horsepower is like the number for a Supra. After that, things get a little crazy. The guys that make 1,600, there are some bad days of 1,600. 1,000 horsepower Supra, incredible.
All day.
All day. So it looks like the 997, 1,200, 1,300, all day. I got this car back
today's a decent testament.
Look at that.
I think you have more time slips than anybody out there right now. Exactly. I think you were hot lapping it against the TRC sequential Evo, and then Tim comes over. He's like, bro, I gotta let it cool. Like we've just ran 4 times back to back. Honestly, you're putting this thing through hell. And I think you've had, like you said, you got it back what, December? You said
December, and I think I'm pretty sure that I've probably got more hits in this car than most of the guys that do this type of thing. Like a lot of Porsche guys are not super hardcore,
right.
It's a different clientele, obviously, but it's because I think people don't understand that this platform can do things like this, So it's kind of
I had no idea
overlooked,
these transmissions could hold so much power.
I honestly had no idea too.
It's like get rag territory, like that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's good. You're gonna have to drive it.
You don't even have to like think about that.
Okay. So
I will absolutely take you up on that.
All right, so let's do that.
You just made me fall in love with Porsches.
I just no lifted a 5 to 6 gear shift.
Bro, oh, it is just pure bliss, this car. It's like, okay, so you like brake boosting it, right? And it gets squirrely on the hit because it's making a ton of power. It's all-wheel drive, but it like broke traction a little bit. From there, it was rock solid planted, and it's an experience. That's honestly the only way I can explain it. It's so different than like the pull of like a Supra, like just as a comparison, but wow, man.
It's a different animal, I tell you. I mean, I like this car because it's so raw. It's so raw, yet very controlled. A Supra, extreme rawness. I love it for that because it's a wild ride.
That's the perfect way to explain it.
Yeah, it's wild for a second, and then it's controlled, and then let's go. And my favorite part, it actually has usable back seats.
Well, I was gonna say,
my kids
yeah, either
time,
kids
you know?
or adults with no legs or one or the other, you know. But like, yeah, dude, like you have full interior. We have the AC blasting. You just ran what 167.
167. I mean, obviously, you know, we know that it could definitely be a little bit quicker. The power band on this car is ridiculous. You know, it's funny because whenever I was talking to those guys at AIM and they were going to build a car, and they used to tell me, it's like, listen, man, 1,000 horsepower on that car. It's not 1,000 horsepower like on other 6-cylinder applications. I mean, this thing is going to make 1,000 foot-pounds of torque from 4,000 RPM all the way up. You know, so it's a very different power band. It has power for days. I could shift this car slow, and the boost recovery happens immediately. So, you know, it's a really, really cool platform. I'm extremely happy with it. I think I don't need to make it faster. You know, I've been around long enough to know that there's a line for every car, and I think I'm at a very, very good spot. So I think you're gonna really enjoy driving this car.
Well, you
might end up buying one after that. So this might be a very expensive day for you.
Just from riding it, I can already tell you, like, I've always been a Porsche fan, and while the PDKs, they perform like incredibly, like I would want a manual one. I didn't know that these like factory transmissions were so stout, and this car's the experience in this car is wild.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, you know, my goal was to be able to go 200.5 miles and run 9s on the street with a 6-speed car and 19-inch HRE wheels, and I did it. It went 201 the first time I went to the half mile, and I went 9.7 at 161 off the shoulder on some random bridge.
60. 130. Quarter mile. 30. 60. 130. Quarter mile.
You know, and I could do that all day. Even on
That
lower
is
boost
so
levels, I can go
wild.
9.9, 9.8, and I know with more seat time, I can definitely go further into the 9s on no prep with a stick shift car. I mean,
rolling, it's damn near 170 mile an hour car.
Oh yeah.
For like, I mean, just for some perspective, the TRC sequentially, though, all in has been like 165. Like, you don't really pull up to the club in an Evo. But like this thing, you could take, you know, out with the wife, and then you can go to the racetrack.
For sure.
So cool.
Speaking of that, today was the first time my wife actually got in the car, so I'm happy that she
Nice.
did. We went 159 on lower boost levels. I wasn't trying to go crazy. I let off like at 170, so.
How'd you like it?
Oh, she absolutely loved it. I wish she could, if she could drive 6-speed, she would definitely be all about it, but.
Be careful what you ask for, man. She might be asking you for a car soon.
Oh, that might be too expensive.
Get real expensive real fast.
Yeah, let me forget about that. All right, man, so I'm gonna hand over the keys and I'm gonna let you do your thing. You're gonna buy one.
My man. Thank you so much, brother. Alright guys, so Gio was nice enough to let me take this thing for a spin. I think it's making about 1,200 right now, so I am super freaking stoked. I've never actually driven a manual Porsche, so let's see how it goes. Just an FYI, you guys just saw Gio beat the crap out of this thing. I'm gonna be a lot nicer to it. Ready, bro?
Yes, sir. Damn, bro.
This thing's holy hell, bro. This thing is fun.
I need this.
You want to turn up the boost? Yeah. So he said take it to about 4,000 RPM, just mat it.
Damn, bro. This thing rides out. Damn, bro. This thing rides out. Man.
Holy hell, this thing rides, bro.
I need this. This is sick. This is addicting.
Dude, this thing will get you in trouble, bro.
Oh, yeah.
This thing will get you in trouble real quick.
Yeah.
Woo! That's a rush, bro.
Dude, yeah, absolutely. And
now we're just chilling.
Honestly, this is probably one of the most fun cars we've been in.
Wow.
Like, it's just rowdy enough, like shifting, you know?
It's
like
raw though.
Yeah.
I consider this like a supercar, right?
Yeah.
But it's like still raw.
Yeah. Like, we've driven other DCT Porsches, but this is like, it adds the rawness back into the mix, and it's just the perfect bit of everything.
Right?
It's so
Oh
sick.
man. Well, like do a little like rolling third gear.
Let her eat, bro. Woo! Damn! Holy shit. Bro!
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh, bro.
Yes.
Oh my
yes.
god.
Oh my god.
Gio was not kidding.
Wow. I know a guy that'll
Was
take
not-
that R32 off your hands. You can pick one of these up.
Gio, my man, you were not kidding. Hey, so we don't have to turn back into the track.
Yeah, I think we ought to just head on
Just-
back.
just head home.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little worried when Gio got a Porsche because the paces that he puts through his cars is not like the average person.
Yeah.
Especially like in like the Porsche community. It's more just like it's a different crowd. They're not all racers, you know?
Yeah.
But damn, this thing is mega badass.
It's too much fun. This is something else, man.
I'm honestly gonna just absolutely, without a doubt, certified TRC approved stamp.
100%. Man.
I knew you were gonna like it.
I'm in love, bro. My man. Dude, thank you so much for that experience, man.
Yeah.
Dude, this is honestly, you were absolutely right. You were absolutely right. Like this, right here, I have so many thoughts going through my head and future life decisions that I couldn't probably make.
I'm telling you, like if you're a fan of a clutch, this is one of the cars.
Dude,
I mean,
the one thing I was a little iffy about at first, I was like, man, I don't want to shift it too fast. Like, I don't know. Butter smooth.
the only car that I've ever had that shifted better than this stock was an S2000. This is as close to an S2000 as you could possibly get. And again, 72,000 mile, never open transmission.
Nuts, man.
And I shift that thing, you see it.
Nuts, bro.
It's not the fastest thing in the world, it's not the slowest, it's just extremely fun.
Yeah.
Every single time
So
I
modest.
take it out, I get
So modest, dude. This
We-
thing is f***ing fast.
We drove some of those
For a
DCT.
street car.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, dude, it's unbelievably fast. But we drove some of those DCT Porsches before, but this is like, it adds everything back that you're missing from that, and it's something else.
Not only that, the size of the cars, you know, this is about the same size of the Supra. I mean, again, I'm a big Supra guy. This is the closest thing that I could get to a Supra. That was just, in my opinion, the next step, you know? They both have their place.
All-wheel drive, bro.
It's just the right amount of all-wheel drive.
If you drive this car and don't come back with a smile on your face, I don't know.
Yeah, you're doing something wrong.
You know, a Supra, unless you're a driver, it's hard to race that car because if you shift it slow, it takes forever to come into this thing. I mean, it makes all the power. Like, you can floor it at 3,500, 3,000 RPM, and it just happens like that.
Thanks so much, brother.
Oh, of course. I'm glad, you know,
Congratulations
I haven't let anybody else drive it except, you know, the guys that built it, and if I was going to let somebody drive it, it's going to be you.
Thank you,
now I got to convince Jay to drive it. I think he's afraid because he's going to love it too. So.
Geo 2008 911 turbo, 6-speed, man pedal.
That's right.
So tell me a little bit about the car, because I've been listening to this thing all day and it sounds freaking amazing.
Yeah, so it's a car that I got from a good friend. He basically got it with 13,000 miles and did an Alpha 9 package. I bought it with him, from him, whenever I had the Alpha 9 package. And, you know, it was a fast car. I brought it, you know, here, went 10.3 at like 137. I definitely wanted the car to be a little bit quicker than that. So basically I had the guys at AIM Performance build, you know, one of their fast setups. As soon as I started looking at who was actually going fast in these cars, they were the only ones that were doing the things that I knew that I was going to do, which was rip it on the street, like actually race it, you know. I already had a good relationship with those guys, so it was simple, you know. We do Supras, they do Porsches, and I got the car over to them. I told them what I wanted, and literally I got the car back in December, and on the same day that they delivered the car, we went to Cape Canaveral to Johnny Bomer's proving grounds, and did 201 in the half mile. One of my goals that originally it escalated. Originally I wanted 1,000, and then it ended up making, you know, 1205 to the wheels. It went 200 in the half mile the first time. I went 9.7 on the street off some random bridge, you know, at 161. It's an awesome setup.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, it's pushed those kind of numbers right out the gate too, of just getting the car back. And that's a significant power difference from the old setup, right? It's about 300-400 horsepower, almost more.
With their turbo kit, Precision 6262s were the turbos that we decided to go with, just because we didn't want to run a lot of boost to make the power that we want. And it ended up making 1,067 on 30, which is how I drive the car.
Perfect.
The majority of the time. Really happy there. And then, you know, I have another map for things like this, where I go from, you know, 32 to 35 pound ramp, and it makes 1205 to the wheel.
That's pretty impressive for 5 more pounds on there too.
Yeah. Well, those turbos are very efficient.
Yeah,
you know?
that's amazing.
Unfortunately, I'm out of fuel system. The car escalated. You know, originally I told them a number, and we ended up going with 6 Injector Dynamics injectors. Knowing what I know now, I probably would have done a 12 injector setup. But it's one of those things where I'm very happy with what we have going right now.
It's a streetable car too.
Yeah, it's a street car. It's,
yeah.
you know, super basic. It's a, you know, 3.8 liter build. You know, RPS carbon clutch, Syvecs tuned by ES Motors. Which, you know, whenever I started looking at the Porsches, like the guy, you know, was Emre from ES Motors. So having somebody like that behind the keyboard is awesome. And ever since I got it, today was actually the first time I popped the hood. I hadn't popped the hood in a month and a half.
So there's not too much going on in the hood over here, though, is there? Absolutely badass car. I'm looking forward to watching you do some more passes on the track today.
All right, thank you, man.